affected by Forex rates, right? Because it goes direct to the charity through smart contract code. So it's amazing to see how that's happening as well within the creator space. I would love to hear more of your views on this.
Of course, because we were talking backstage when you asked me, how are things in Poland? And I've said that we have over 3 million people from Ukraine and we do a lot of things for them. And we try to support. However, now look, we're free. Everyone is able to support. And because of blockchain, the transparency is huge. And it's all secure that you see that the money that you are donating goes straight to the charity. And also you are able to donate 10 cents, $1, which wasn't possible before because of the currency exchange, the rates and everything, it makes absolutely no sense to do such a little amounts. And also for celebrities and for influencers, I think for Miss World it's very special because we have 140 influencers from each country each year. So the base is really huge and we do different things. We have 35 events during this 1-month festival that people can buy tokens and, for example, spend a day with their favorite contestant or pay to have a chat with them, to learn from them, or to see the live stream of one of the events. Or even it changed the whole way of voting. Now with those 10 cents, everyone is able to support their country and their contestant. They are able to vote and see them succeed. It's really creating lots of opportunities. And even if we are new to it, we really want to embrace it and learning from you guys and the platforms that you created for influencers, celebrity, artists. It's really, really incredible.
So as an influencer, what else would you do for your fans that you cannot do if you had virtual assets such as fan tokens that you can leverage on to reward your fans?
For example, even having a chat with a group of 10 people, they can ask me whatever they want to ask me. We were also talking that in pageantry in particular, it's very difficult for young girls to start. And I can have a session with them to share my tips, to share my experience. But also, what it's wonderful, because Miss World operates in the virtual world, but also in the real world. We have real stories to share. We have real people that we interact with and real results that you can see across the world. And I think that's very unique, to get to know the person better, to share some part of their journey. For example, to take a couple of people on a tour with me when I travel the world. I think that's something that Instagram will not allow me to do.
Catherine, from a protocol point of view, how do you think a protocol like Tezos could unlock the creator and influencer economy?
Yeah, and it's essentially coming down to a decentralized platform, providing that unbiased, neutral, open source network that enables all your digital assets, all your virtual assets that you've created, whether it's minting a Miss World NFT to capture a history in time when Karolina was crowned as queen, for example, and a fan being able to own a piece of that history, and it's an NFT, for example, that's immutable. So, Miss World 1978 could have long, been in the archives, but you can dig up the archives and place it on a Web3 platform that's running on Tezos, could be XLabX, for example, and it will live on forever. So if it's hosted on, say, a Web2 architecture, perhaps Google might take it down, Facebook might take it down. So with this immutability aspect of a protocol on-chain and the ability to kind of just own that, have that ownership immortalized, immutable forever. That's I think the strongest selling point for any protocol out there.
From a pageant point of view, from an events point of view, I mean, let's not talk only about pageants, but entertainment events where fans are so important, and how the inputs of fans are important. I think we spoke a bit about how by having tokenized assets, fans can also vote and have an input on who's going to win, who's going to lose, who's popular and who's not. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity to engage the audience. Everyone likes to have the feeling that they have an impact on something. On the contestants in case of Miss World, or the football team as we were mentioning, and they can vote for various things. As I meant, we have different fast tracks. So for example, one of the most popular ones is head-to-head challenge, and millions of people are watching it on YouTube. However, they don't have a live stream to it, so people can pay tokens to have it live, and then they can also vote for the contestants. There is 6 of them, they choose the topic, they speak up, and people can choose which of those 6 will go to the next round. And you can make your country greater and greater. You can support them in many ways. You can help them make some choices, like with football, they choose jerseys or whatever that is. For example, you can support your contestant to have a part of your national costume, how it will look like. And with voting, it's not that easy to vote for Miss World to win, because that probably wouldn't be fair comparing to the size of the countries. But for those little fast track to support those girls, and also we created a website for each contestant, which is something very new, and they all have their content over there based on their lifestyle, video purpose, or whatever they want to share with the fans. And if people are paying for the subscriptions or giving tokens to that, we can also have statistics. How the country, how the contestant is doing in the competition. She can win a multimedia award or go to top 5 or top 10. Like, to reward people in many ways. I think tokenization is a great way to vote because, as I mentioned, even 10 cents can be one of the votes, which before was impossible.
The next thing I want to talk about is probably something more for Catherine, but I think Karolina can chime in as well. The panel before us, they were talking about rather technical things such as stablecoins and regulations. And in a way, crypto has, even though there's a lot of hype about it, it's less than 1% of the financial market. And even at this festival, it's a Singapore FinTech Festival, and I know there are a lot of crypto exhibitors, but FinTech, within FinTech itself, mainstream FinTech, forms the vast majority of what this festival is about and what technology is about. I feel, and people in the crypto community feel as well, that the next step of crypto evolution has to be about how digital and virtual assets can be mainstreamed. And in order for it to be mainstream, it needs to be understood by more than the crypto boys, that people understand technology, understand blockchain, understand what DLT is, understand what proof of stake, proof of work, and I mean, let's be frank, most people won't understand that. So entertainment, media, sports, arts, things that we've been talking about, this is a great vehicle for crypto and virtual assets to go mainstream. And in fact, talking to the owners of Miss World and Karolina, it has been an educational process on telling them how these virtual assets can actually help them. I would like to hear from the both of you as well. I mean, from 2 viewpoints. Catherine is a Web3 native. She knows Web3 very well. I'd like Catherine to share more about what you just said about how you can move from a very specific industry into mainstream. And then for Karolina to then chime in and tell us how someone who doesn't know anything about Web3 and crypto, how it actually will help it, and how the 2 universes then can merge. We can start with Catherine.
Yeah, that's a good question, Calvin. So I tend to be in my Web3 native hat a lot more than my mainstream hat, but do my best. So I think that what we need are more projects that are actually bridging both Web3 tech with Web2 distribution models. I know you own a very big modeling agency, you own a Miss World franchise, so it's about connecting that distribution with new technology that empowers your platform to have direct community access. So for example, when you were mentioning voting, I remember back in the day when I was competing, there would be this forums on this universe, like just people would comment about everything from your hair, from your lifestyle, your dressing, and people are invested in these things. It's just like, how do we tie it so closely to platform incentives, powered by NFTs, for example, in a way that incentivizes them to participate directly? Because not all of us can afford a gala dinner table during gala night when the pageant night is going and the queen will be announced. Each seat costs maybe like $1,000 or something. So the ability to even vote at, we need, as you say, 10 cents, $1, and help shape part of the Miss World story, whether it's like I'm going to support this favorite contestant of mine through prediction markets. I'm going to think that she wins, so I'm just going to like make a bet on that and support her. That could be one way of kind of bridging that gap, and we need platforms to enable that. There's also other brands and big brands that want to create a gamified experience for their fans. So like, okay, come find and collect all different pieces of NFT collectibles into the shape of a crown, for example. And then that will unlock a special dinner with Karolina. You can learn more about her experience, something like that. But we need platforms like that to enable these experiences, and that's what we're lacking at the moment.
And it's great, and it's absolutely true. When somebody doesn't know anything about Web3 crypto, it's possible to learn. It took me a few weeks to make up for that. But the more I learned, the quicker I understood how many opportunities it brings to the table in case of entertainment. And especially if people like to follow this kind of things because they are positive, they have their favorite celebrities over there or influencers, they want to have an impact as well, they want to support the project or the contestant or whatever that is. It creates this connection, and they need to learn as well how to be on the platform, to be a part of it, and to get to know the person a little bit better through the chat or through a day together. It can also bring some tickets to the show, to the events. They can collect those tokens to have some other special and unique content. And we create a lot of content all across the world, and also previous Miss World created those. So it's a huge, huge revolution, I guess.
And this is a question, or rather a topic that I know is very close to the heart of my friend over there, the Chief FinTech Officer of MAS. He believes that the next evolution of crypto, and especially in the Singapore context, we are not very tolerant of assets that do not actually have a proper use case in real life. And again, coming back to what I was saying just now, the next evolution of crypto has to be less speculative and more utility-based. And even though we've seen a lot of flash